Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to welcome our guest. We're going to welcome our guest. He is a renowned entrepreneur in Benga. He is Nigel Chanakira.
Good morning to you all, and thank you, Tino, for the introduction. I woke up close on midnight to prepare a PowerPoint presentation, and when it's not loaded, you know how you feel. Ever been there? When you've worked your butt off. So while they're loading it, I'm hoping they can load I can sponsor a joke. Is there anyone with a joke? Okay, I think first and foremost, let me thank PDB Network for extending an invitation to me to be able to speak to you this morning. And they gave me a topic which is very close to my heart, talking about success. I run an institute called Success Motivation Institute. I feel more comfortable now because I was panicking. You know when you're in panic mode. So I own an institute called Success Motivation Institute. So the moment the word success was mentioned, I think Tino had already stolen my heart in making sure that I would be here. And so let me thank him for extending an invitation to me. Let me also just compliment him for his persistence. This guy has been chasing me since 2018. I think applaud him. He got me now, eh? He is one persistent guy and he just doesn't give up. So he wanted us to do a gig together, and you know, this is it. I hope I don't disappoint you. When he invited me, I think it was more out of the courtesy to him that I thought, let me honor this, despite and in spite of everything. When he gave me the cover charge of what you people are paying to be here, I kind of felt sorry for him. Because you're paying $10 to be here. And all of you should know unashamedly that I charge $250 per hour. Okay? So you got a good deal. So I think you need to applaud yourselves. I don't know anyone who gets $250 worth of value for paying $10. I think you guys, although it's cold, I think you got a smart deal. Having said that, I was also wanting to thank PG, the host. PG is a company that, when I see the brand, it really is an emotional brand to me. Because when I grew up many, many years ago, this was a very, very powerful brand. And so when I see brands that come alive again after what they went through, it really kind of motivates me. So I'm looking forward to interacting more with the CEO and the COO who I've only just met this morning. Let me also thank the other sponsors for having me here. By way of introduction, I'm Nigel Chanakira, as you probably all know. I'm an economist by training, an investment banker by profession, a businessman by choice, and a success coach and facilitator by passion. And I don't know how many of you are actually following and living your passions, but I would say get there and get there as fast as you possibly can. Because for me, mentoring, coaching, facilitating for the success of others is really something that I am totally convinced is the way to live life. So I'm having, and I've been having the time of my life in the last 10 years, where all I do and focus on largely is mentoring and coaching entrepreneurs. And I'm really, really having a good time. I used to think banking was it. And yeah, banking was good because you made money while you slept. But I can tell you mentoring and coaching is a passion that I think I was born with. And so as a result, I can also incorporate mentoring and coaching people on making money make sense. Anybody remember that? Okay. It's an opportunity to gauge how old my audience is. Okay. So, what is success? And in the world of SMI, we say success is the progressive realization of personal, predetermined, worthwhile personal goals. I think you add the word worthwhile. Are we together? So if I was going to ask any of you what constitutes success, I would probably get as many answers as there are people who are here. Why? Because we all have a different definition of what success is. And I've got the mic, and this gentleman looks very successful. And so let's ask him what success means to him.
I think for me, success would be to realize my goals and to achieve them.
Fantastic. And madam, you look very successful. I mean, look at how elegant she is. What does success mean for you?
I think success is reaching all the levels of Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Okay? Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So in other words, they are the basics, isn't it? And I kind of like that definition because it means we start where we are. Isn't that so? If you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it really depends on where you are at. So for somebody who doesn't have a home or doesn't have food, success means the next meal, quite literally. Are we together? But for somebody who has self-actualized, somebody who's lived their dream, success might mean financial freedom. And what does financial freedom mean? It means not having to work for another day, choosing to do what you want to do, and be wherever you want to be, without feeling the constraints of money and time. Hello? Anybody there? Not yet. I love the not yet, because not yet suggests you are well on your way. Are we together? And I think that's what success is all about. And I'll tell you, my own journey is no secret. And this is why I do what I do. I want to motivate Africans to self-actualize. Because I was able to come across an institution called Success Motivation Institute, or International. And they taught me this definition. And the founder, Paul J. Meyer, became my personal mentor. And I remember the year was 1995 when I signed up for an SMI program. And my life has never been the same thereafter. I was 28 years old, a boy from Highfield, and in my wildest dream, I was asked the question, if time and money was not an issue for you, what would you do? Time and money not being a factor. And I scribbled, and I said I would start my own bank. And guess what? When I told my mother that, she kind of slapped me. She says, you're a graduate, but just say you want to look for a job in a bank. Are we together? It didn't seem conceivable that a boy from Highfield could embark on a journey of success and point to a destination called there, to run a listed financial institution and to command a market share. I remember when I was asked, what market share? Because a goal has to be a smart goal. It's got to be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. And I said, if I could achieve just 2.5% market share in the banking environment, hello? In my world, success, unlike these elegant people here, for me, success was driving my Merc, my BM, and living in a luxury house and making sure my kids lived comfortably and had a better lifestyle than me. So those are what we call symbols of success. Isn't that so? So in as much as we were told Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but at the top, you've got to define it by what we call symbols of success. So what is that measure? Is it $1 million? For me, it was $1 million. If I could have $1 million, and that was real money, not the millionaires in I mean real $1 million equivalent. I thought I would be comfortable. Are we together? So I don't know what success means for you. But what is important is that you define it for yourself. So that we know that you are making what? A progressive actualization of that predetermined. Not million who win a lottery, no. That's, Mawira Mumbi, it's accidental. And guess what? The research also indicates that those people who bump into $1 million, within 2 years, they're actually back to ground zero because they never ran their imagination on what they would do with it. Hello? So you got to define it. And you got to define, because money also changes people, eh? Hello? Small house. Divorcing husbands, hello? Because, wives feel imprisoned the moment they become successful. I don't need him anymore. And if we know that that's what's happening. So if you're not careful in what we call a pre-definition of what success means, you can get lost. And believe you me, as an investment banker, I've watched the lifestyles of people getting lost because they never understood what success meant and what it was. So money changed them, or success changed who they were. They want to change wives. They want to change, you name it. Are we together? So it should be predetermined. Now, what do I want to talk about? I want to talk to you about Zim. Let's get real. the political, economic, social, technological, legal, environment factors in Zim. And I want to challenge you to embark on a journey of personal leadership development. And if it's not for you and you've already arrived, make sure it is for your company. And if your company has arrived, make sure it's for your family. Are we together? That's what I want to talk to you about, because that's what true success means. When you can impact not only yourself, you begin to impact the people around you. Your parents, your siblings should be able to feel that you are now successful and you are now a significant being. When it's beyond your immediate family, your extended family, the village should know that you are successful. Hello? You can't be selfish. Chanakira kune magetsi. I don't live there, kwaseke, but kune magetsi. Akadonzwa neni. Hello? Chanakira kune maboho. Akaiswa neni. Chanakira kune zvikoro. Zvakaiswa neni. I'm yet to build a hospital, and I will build a hospital in the village. Hello? I will build a school of entrepreneurship in the village so that the village knows that they raised a successful boy. Are we together? That's what true success is. When you begin to impact the lives of other people, then you are being significant and successful. So, Zimbabwe, I believe, represents what I call the perfect storm. I don't know who's ever watched the movie The Perfect Storm. If you haven't, you need to watch it. That movie depicts a ship that gets shipwrecked at sea when all forces of wind get together and they literally threaten to crash that ship. And if you've ever been shipwrecked, if you've ever been on a boat, you need to be on a boat when the waves are going topsy-turvy and there is lightning. That's what a perfect storm is. And I am a well-traveled person. Hello? I am well-traveled. I've been probably to about 21 African countries. I've been to the poorest countries in the world, such as Haiti. And Haiti, Yeshua. Are we together? I've also been to prosperous lands. Okay? Countries that are developed and well-developed. And in everything, in everywhere where I've been, there is no place that equates to Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is just something else. The political environment. Atina hondo yedu, but it's close, eh? And we know the moment we are near elections, that tells you the nature of a country we have. The volatility, what we call the VUCA economy, it manifests. Chinenge chakarara so chipuka chacho chinonzi Zimbabwe. Kana wanga usati waiona Zimbabwe, wait until it's close to elections. The exchange rate does its own thing. Inflation does its own thing. Physically, vanhu vanorovana zvatingaziye nevemumba mumwe chete tinorovana. People from the same village. I mean, it's just a hostile environment. But I'm thankful that it's not a war zone. It's close. But guess what? It's really unpredictable, isn't it? It's unpredictable, it's complex, it's ambiguous. VUCA. Now, if you can survive in Zim, I love Zim because if you survive Zim, you can survive anywhere. And I'm saying this because I'm well-traveled. And not only am I well-traveled, I've lived in other countries, particularly in Southern Africa. And having lived and coached and mentored in other countries, if you are able to handle Zim, you can handle anything. Hello? So even if you choose to then leave Zimbabwe, like I did, I chose to leave Zimbabwe. I think I talk too much. Did my making money make sense? Writing the back page of the Fingas. I was a guest of the stage not once but twice. And I had a third arrest pending. And I thought, no, I can't live here anymore. My conviction was that we could do better. And my conviction is still that we can do better as an economy. And when we look at what we are taught at all our MBA graduates, you know, when we look at those factors and we try and project what they could look like in Zimbabwe, it's hazardous. It's unpredictable. And sometimes because we are so shut up, we are so closed in because of sanctions, we've probably had what? A total, if you look at pre-UDI and then post-independence, we are a nation that's been under sanctions for a long time. And being under sanctions does various things. What it does is, it means you are not as exposed to the global economic or political developments as you ordinarily would be. And so we are kind of underexposed. We are kind of sheltered as well in the environment that we operate in, because nobody wants to really come and compete and establish businesses here. Are we together? So mark my words. One day sanctions will be removed. I don't know when. I hope they are removed sooner rather than later. But when they are removed, guess what? A lot of us as individuals and a lot of us as businesses in particular. How many business people do we have in the house today that own their own businesses? Just raise your hands high. And you know, big guy. Let's applaud these people. If you own a business, run a business, and have weathered the storms in Zim, you are my hero. Are we together? But that heroism is no guarantee of future success. Are we together? Because in an open, competitive environment, a lot of us wouldn't survive. Because in Zim, there are factors such as greed, inflation. Hello? There are margins that you can drive a bus through. Hello? There are practices that are localized, that are foreign, if not strange, in other countries. Hello? We will be swept by another perfect storm. Come what we would call a normalization of the business environment. Are we together? So if you haven't been outside, and because I knew this, just as an entrepreneur, I will never confine my business operations to Zimbabwe. You know why? Because you will live under a false mirage that will not go. Are we together? And in a brutal, real world, where competitiveness is called for, where business skills are required, it can be a wake-up call. And so Zim, when we talk about any improvements, even technological improvements, people are very hesitant to jump onto the technology bandwagon. Are we together? So our technologies are kind of ancient. Some of our industries, in truth, belong to the museum. some of the work ethics and work practices and workflows within our enterprises are yesterday's methodologies. Are we together? And so I would always encourage you, particularly you who are business people or you who are executives, to learn to travel, to gain experience and exposure outside of Zimbabwe. So much so that you can be able to survive and know what's coming with regards to your specific industry. Are we together? And of course, iyo pachayo ziminopedza power. I mean, it's sapping, it's energy sapping, isn't it? You have to deal with the exchange rates. You got to deal with the statutory instruments and cope with the numbers that are coming out in terms of changing your landscape. It's not easy. And a lot of people give up. And we give up why we start our businesses, we expect quick results, isn't it? Sometimes you just get overworked. You get snowed under. And if you're not careful in Zim, you can easily burn out. Hello, who's feeling tired? Who's feeling burnt out? Unoyazo kunzot right and that's a pizza manch. After you are just trying to survive. You're not making money. You are just trying to pay the bills. Zemino gonna pay the power. And that's why a lot of people just give up on the country, isn't it? They just decide, hey, regarding it's a K-work, UK, net degree raki. Are we together? So there's every reason that it can sober you up. And this is the cruelty of it. Because many of us, because we are here, because we've weathered the storm, we then kind of get into the mode, you know, kind of write up what is my benefits. Someone will come and eat our lunch. Are we together? And so we have to really proceed with caution. Now there's something called the Dunning-Kruger effect. And this is where some of us find ourselves. You start off with a lot of confidence, starting an enterprise or managing one. Are we together? And then Zim sobers you up and you come crashing down. And if you survive and you don't go below the line, are we together? So there is a volatility up and down. Hello, am I talking to someone? Where 1 year you are prosperous, next year you are poor. You are so poor you can't even pay attention. Are we together? But once you've arrived there into that valley of despair, as long as you are still alive, hello? And a lot of us, we don't give credit to being alive. The Bible tells me a living dog is better than a dead lion. Are we together? Saka, as long as I am alive, because I can always bounce back. I can always start again. Are we together? So don't give up. What I would hope is you go onto this slope of enlightenment, onto the plateau of sustainability. Are we together? Because that's important. And I think this is what this network is all about. So that you exchange ideas. I would love to run a class, you know. Every Tuesday, 2 hours. Tomboroa 10 weeks. Tichita building financial success. Toroa 10 weeks. The art of creative selling. Toroa 10 weeks. Tichenda takadaro. What is selling? And it 10 weeks, tichidaro, ma program. So this is a process which I call the total leadership process. Are we together? It's a process that we can engage ourselves intentionally to say, let's develop ourselves, to be able to survive, not only survive, but thrive and prosper. And not only prosper to the point of our individual successes or our village success, but we become national success figures and we begin to influence things. How many people know that when you make money, and not just a little bit of money, when you make lots and lots of money, when you speak, people listen? Hello? It's something I experienced and I can testify. The moment I hit the $1 million mark, the moment I became a multi-millionaire, when I spoke, people listened. Hello? And so that's what we should become, influencers. Where when we speak, muno, tinotika ma millionaire tirivangani muno. If we have 60 millionaires in the room, when we speak, kana cabinet agenda change. Hello? Because on Tuesday, do kunoitwa cabinet. Zvainakidza sei kuti vasati vaenda kucabinet vombopfuura nekuno kubreakfast meeting yedu kuti vanzwe kuti tiri kuti kudii. That's what we call significance and influence. Are we together? And we can get there if we are committed, if we are determined. Because guys, this is what normality looks like. Most of you are entrepreneurs, right? Normally, you leave varsity and we get into what we call the building phase of life. And quite often in Zim, we are stuck in this rut. Yekuti, in the 10-year cycle, we are moving from job to job. And it kuti uone kuti uri kuita progress here unyazozvibata. And it and kuti uunganidzewo income nemusoro on an annual basis azvinokosha. Hello, am I speaking to somebody here? Okay? Because this is what we call normality, a normal curve. I've got 4 kids. 2 are outside the country, and 2 I persuaded to come into the country. And because I'm a statistician and an investment banker, I'm always tracking their progress. And so if you look at that graph there, this is what you call a normal graph. Munhu kana graduate and it anofanira kunge achienawo some $25,000 per annum on average. Or promote and it. And promotion, and it gets them to a point where they've got some earnings. Then we move on to a side hustle, isn't it? And your side hustle grows. And then some of us then quit our jobs in 7 years. And that was my cycle. I worked for 2 years at the Reserve Bank, and then I worked for 5 years for Bard Discount House. I became the youngest director ever, and I still think I am, in a banking institution. By age 24, I was a director. By age 28, I quit my job, 27. And I started Kingdom. I saw my sister, I'm not going to point any finger, she immediately closed her eyes. Okay? And if you look, that's a normal graph, isn't it? You become a business owner. Okay? A business owner should enable you to earn more. In my own lifetime, within a year after my business, I became a millionaire. I was up there. And Financial freedom normally is up there. And this is the freedom phase where you run your business for a couple of years and you arrive at your million. Are we together? This is what is normal. Dr. Right, Zimbabwe is what? Is abnormal. Are we together? Some who get there quickly, unfortunately, tane culture yembinga, tane culture ye a tenderpreneur, where through tenders, you can skip all these phases and get up to becoming a millionaire. Isn't that true? And that's the community, that's the culture we're actually coming across. And my counsel to you, and heaven forbid if I'm speaking to you and you're a Mbinga, I didn't come to insult you. If I'm speaking to you and you're a tenderpreneur, I didn't come to insult you. Are we together? I'm a peace-loving, fun-loving guy. So I came to insult nobody. But I want to warn you, if you are a Mbinga or a tenderpreneur, kuti your days are numbered. And the longevity of Mbinga, unless you save and learn how to invest your money, guess what? Easy come, easy go. Are we together? And so you better invest in yourself to become what we call the total leader, to become an accomplished somebody who is not changed by the whims and wills of what is going on. So all that you hope to acquire, whichever way, whether you are hustling, and sometimes we start hustling before we even get a job. That's how cruel Zim is. That's how abnormal it is. And I know many a man who has hustled his way to the top. After graduating, guess what happens? You can't find a job anyway. Are we together? So it means you will skip this phase and you will start with what is a side hustle for purposes of survival. Are we together? And when you do that, even if you're not careful, guess what? This may be a bumpy ride. And in fact, in Zim, let's be brutally honest, it's actually a volatile ride. Are we together? And so it means you must watch your environment. You must watch the politics. You must watch the economy. You must watch your own industry and the peculiarities that go with your own industry. The competitiveness or lack thereof of your own industry. In a normal industry, only 20% of the businesses in your industry are making 80% of the profits. That's what we call normality. So I don't know where you are. Are you among the 20% that are making 80% of the profits, or are you barely getting by? I don't know. All I came to encourage you today is that you stay sane and you become a personal developer. You have to have goals in your life. Success is about goal setting and goal getting. You've got to become a phenomenal goal setter and goal getter. And in SMI, we've got what we call our wheel of life, where in each of the 6 areas on the spoke of the wheel of life, you are expected to make smart goals in each of those areas. And if you look carefully at our wheel of life, it's actually got 12 items to it. Are we together? There must be a goal in each of the areas. And then you must formulate a plan within which you execute on those goals. And normally you want to focus on you. And you want to operate in that area that the Japanese call the ikigai. What is the ikigai? It's the sweet spot where your mission, what you love, your vocation, what the world needs, your profession, what you get paid for, and your passion are all in one. And as we go through the phases of life, we go through a journey of discovery, a journey of self-discovery so that you can get to that sweet spot where you have freedom. That's what normality looks like. And when we look at success, there is what we then call the circle of success. And what is that circle? That circle means that with hard work, with persistence and determination, with passion, you learn how to develop new ideas, you focus on them, you serve others, you improve yourself, and we go on to that cycle. So it's all about goal setting, making a plan, getting to work, sticking to it until you reach that goal and become content with life. And I think in Zim, sometimes in our busyness, we stop living. We've lost the sense of purpose. Why am I here? Am I here just to pay bills? Or am I here just to suck oxygen? No, we were born to make a difference. Are we together? So we got to change. And if you're not on that cycle of success, something has got to change. How do we change? And if you don't keep your BDI in Zimbabwe on cash flow management, you are history. Never mind what assets you have. Believe you me, I accumulated a lot of assets in my banking career. I was in banking for 15 years. Makambani esana Londro pavaitiza takatenga. I bought the assets of London. I even merged with Nichols. So you leverage what you have. Are we together? But believe you me, no matter what assets you accumulate, if you don't focus on cash flows, if you don't focus on sustainable business models, guess what? If you're not in that phase, hyperinflation will crush you in a severe way. It was always my goal that at 40 I would retire. And sure enough, I managed to retire at 40. Are we together? Youngest bank director ever, 24. Youngest bank owner ever at 28. Youngest multiple bank owner. I owned banks in 5 countries by 30. Merged, ran a London listed company by 40, and then bowed out. Okay? I'm not sure I made a graceful exit. Are we together? Because the pressure yangayamu banking, I used to have a mop of black hair. It was black and thick. After years of banking, it became gray. I didn't have a forehead, ne banking. And so after 15 years, I said, I'm out of there. I want to retire. So now I sport a bald head to try and disguise the gray hair, the bald head, and the thinning hair. Are we together? And I decided to go into something else, which was coaching and mentoring people. And what a pleasure. That's what I do in my retirement. Are we together? But even in retirement, guess what? The biggest thing you can ever do is to understand money. Making money make sense. The biggest thing you can ever do is to understand the life of a business. The life of a business is cash flow. The life of any asset is cash flow. And so I've co-created an app called Cash Flow Optimizer so that people can understand cash flows. Because the banks, let me tell you that as an investment banker, it's easy to sell a business. It's easy to borrow money. It's easy to list a company that has strong cash flows. Are we together? If you didn't learn anything today, or if you want one big takeaway, it has to be goal setting and goal getting and cash flow. Are we together? You can forget everything else that I said about my bald head, about my multi-millions or what. Remember what? Goal setting, goal getting, and what? Cash flow. Are we together? So, what are we saying? We're saying become the total leader, become a productive person. Your personal productivity is going to be essential for you to become whoever you want to be in whatever field. You got to be a productive individual. You then also must learn how to lead yourself before you can lead others. We talk of personal leadership. You must then also be able to motivate other people. Nothing great was ever done alone. You do great things by working with other people. And when you are a motivational leader, guess what? It's easy to become an accomplisher of things through teams. We move on and then we become strategic. So it's a journey that I am saying we can embark on. And what do? We've got a concept within our institute. The Success Motivation Institute talks about an iceberg. Because all we ever see is a traditional approach to success, isn't it? And we see, what to do, how to do it, when, and so forth. But this has a limited impact. And above the surface, we see that behaviors, actions is what generates results. But research indicates that the most successful people in the world are actually operating beneath the surface. And if you care to look, they repeat habits of success. So spaced repetition has got to be part of your DNA so that you become all that God created you to be. You've got to become what we call a multi-sensory learner. You learn by observing, you learn by maintaining stats and dashboards in terms of your performance. You learn also how to manage your time. The Pareto principle kicks into play, where 20% of your time should generate 80% of your wealth, for example. That's what we call effectiveness. So you got to learn how to be effective and what things are effective in your life. You got to learn becoming a goal setter and a goal getter. So we talk about goal setting. We talk about getting a mentor, reading motivational material, getting group support, which is what this is, isn't it? It's difficult to stop people with a common agenda. Even God couldn't stop them building the Tower of Babel. He had to send down languages of confusion because people had gotten together and they had said, we are going to build a tower to heaven. Why? Because God has given us the ability to do whatever we want to do. If we are determined as a people, because we are godlike, isn't it? Genesis says he made us in his image. So when he speaks, the world is created. And so when we speak, it means we can create our world. Isn't that so? I don't care what you are thinking, what you are dreaming. The sky is not the limit. Anything is possible if you put your mind to it. If you have an elegant plan behind it. If you work in a space repetitive way, anything is possible. Are we together? And so we can build businesses. We must be preconditioned for success. We must have that internal dialogue. We must have a positive mental attitude. We must have the attitude that I cannot be denied. I have the unfair advantage. It's a mindset. The word of God says, as a man thinketh. Huh? No, it doesn't say that. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Big difference. Because if you just think it, you believe it here, but you don't believe it here. But when I believe it in my heart, it means I'm all in. There is full conviction that I'm going to start a bank at age 28. And I'm all in. It means the internal dialogue, the attitude. Nothing can stop me. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be a multi-millionaire. Nothing can what? It's a mindset. So as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. If you can think it, if you can conceive it, if you believe it, if you internalize it, only then, and then you put the action that is required behind it, and you are strategic in your outlook, you are monitoring your environment, you are monitoring your competitors, you are determined to outcompete them, then guess what? You can do it. So how many can do it? Do you know what the stats say? Only 20% of you guys who put up your hand will actually do what you're thinking. Shall we start counting? 1, 2, which ones? It takes an uncommon tenacity to get there. It takes a big change for you to get there. Insanity is defined as doing what? The same thing, the same way, every day, and expecting a different result. Turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, I saw you put up your hand. Are you insane? So we got to change. We can't keep doing what we were doing. Because where we want to get to is different from where we've been. Some of us have never been there, mental or spiritual. At least some of you can see where you are going. Some haven't even begun to see how far they can go. So we got to change. Who's ready for change? Okay, are you serious? Let's ask. So companies lose a lot of money. $420,000 for average company. A $10 million company will probably lose $250,000. Why? They don't communicate. What's the best way of communicating as a leader? You want a boss, a facilitator for your success, and you want to participate. We talk about accountability. I talked about the different programs we have. We've got programs with personal productivity, personal leadership, motivational leadership. And in so doing, what are we saying? We're saying you yourself must be productive. That is the starting point. Before we can even talk to anybody else, we must talk to you about your own level of productivity, your own capacity to manage your own time, your own capacity to manage yourself before you can manage others. Wakaronge kaere, in the truest sense of the word. The moment you become personally productive, you become sensitive of the people around you, and you can then lead them to be productive. Then you must learn the leadership tenet. What does it mean to be a good leader? Most of us were not born leaders. I was very autocratic in my style of leadership. I was very dictatorial in my style of leadership. It was either my way or the highway. But you can't build big organizations. You can't build award-winning organizations until you learn how to lead. And so I had to go through a rebirthing process myself. You know, the disc profiling that they do, if anyone has heard of disc profiling, I was a D almost off the scale. I'm a dominant character, left to my natural instincts. No, they are not the dictator. If I am not refined, if I hadn't gone through the processes of learning to listen to others, because I was very much exposed, very educated, because it was my bank, guess what? I wanted it done my way. And it was my way or the highway. I would fire you and tell you, sit at home, because the Labor Act doesn't, allow me to fire you. But I was the sort of guy who, before I went to this school, I would say, and I'll pay you until we can fire you legally. That's how dictatorial I was. Are we together? And guess what? And I did fire people. I mean, my bank at the peak, we had 1,800 people. 1,800. 50 branches. 5 countries. I wasn't into people wasting my time. You get what I mean? But I had to learn that that's not leadership. That's dictatorship. Are we together? So I had to learn how to lead myself first before I could lead others. I had to learn how to motivate others. And I had a motivated team. I mean, we did great things with my team. After I became the leader, there is not a single award that I did not win in Zimbabwe. Manager of the Year, Director of the Year, Best Bank, Best Turnaround Company on the Stock Exchange, Best Company on the Stock Exchange, Highest Performing Company on the... I won each and every award except Miner of the Year and Farmer of the Year. Because I wasn't a farmer and a miner. Are we together? But Manufacturer of the Year, we won it under Tanganda Tea Company. So I won all the awards. Why? Through this process. I ended up selling everything and going to park myself in this institute. Because I thought, oh my God, how many millionaires can we create? That's why I do what I do. Are we together? So we got to teach you how to lead yourself so that you can become 3 times more effective than you are. Our research shows our clients come repeated. And no surprise, who are our top clients? Who's my top client in Zim? Econet Wires. Year after year, they come back for me. Surprise, surprise. Insco. Surprise, surprise. Are we together? Portland Cement. Surprise, surprise. Top companies, top individuals, top performers. We got to learn how to motivate people. We got to learn how to be strategic leaders. How can we be strategic? How do we position ourselves within the industries that we operate? So what are we looking for? We are looking to create dynamic leaders who want success like they want oxygen. Can you stop breathing? Let's try the experiment. Let's get up. Let's stand up. I want you to take a deep breath and hold your breath. And I want to see who can hold their breath the longest. So you put up your hand. Okay? So we're all going to put up our hand and then I want you to hold it. Are we together? So we all do it at the same time. And the moment you run out of air, you go and you put down your hand. I want to see who can last the longest. Are we together? Right. Let's start. Okay? Hold it. Hold it. Okay, if you exhale, then you put your hand down. Okay. Let's see who can hold the longest. Not bad. They're lying. The moment they said that. Okay. 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 We have some serious contenders. Okay. If you exercise a lot, yeah, you can hold it. Okay. Okay. Those that are next to them, just check whether they're not taking in some air. Three more? Okay. We got three more here. Just get close to them. Don't go, just test them. It's Zafir mates. Okay. All right. So let's applaud him. Let's applaud the gentleman at the back there. You can take your seat. So tell me something. When you held your breath to that point where you couldn't hold it anymore, what did you want? Air. You wanted air, isn't it? You were desperate for air. Isn't that so? That's the level of desperation you should have for your personal development to become a dynamic leader. Are we together? You got to want it so much. I mean, if you were elsewhere, I would have put your heads under the water. Then you can't cheat me. Are we together? But I tell you, when you come up and you go, wanting to suck as much air as you possibly can. That's desperation. If I was holding your head beneath the water, what would you do? You'd get to a point of kicking me and saying, leave me. Why? Because you want what? You want the oxygen, you want the air. That's how desperate you should become for your own success. Because some of us are fiddling. We're not making an impact at all. Why? Because we're not desperate for success. And if I came to do anything, I came to urge you to be conditioned for success, to have an attitude of success, to have behaviors and actions for success, and then the results will come. Are we together? And we have programs, which I'm quite happy to talk to you about. We've got a whole series of programs for the entrepreneur to become a totally successful entrepreneur. Are we together? We talk about time management, money management, personal leadership skills, and managerial competencies. We also talk about your leadership development process within organizations. Again, you can talk to me. we also talk about kids and your own children. I just didn't want success for myself. I wanted success for my kids as well. So we got programs so that people have a success mindset. Are we together? And so in closing, I say invest in yourselves. Your skills are more precious than gold. You can take away my bank. You can take away my car. You can take away the clothes I'm wearing. You can take away all my assets. But I can start again. Because I know the formula of success. Are we together? Do you know the formula for success? Could we throw you anywhere in the world for you to succeed? Could any company come into your area of expertise, into your industry, and could you outcompete them? That's got to be the mindset. So take one day at a time, surround yourself with positivity, create a vision board, make smart goals, reward yourself as you progress in life, believe in yourself, acknowledge your positive attributes, recognize your own progress, visualize accomplishing your goals, be kind to yourselves, and remember that there is only just one kind of you. There is no one else like you with the same fingerprint like you. You are unique and you are destined for success. So crystallize your goals. Make a plan for achieving them. Set yourself a deadline. Then with supreme confidence, determination, and disregard for any obstacles you may encounter or any criticism you may encounter, go and become the person you were created to be. That's what my mentor told me before he passed on in 2009. And that's why I am here. Thank you. See you at the top. The bottom is overcrowded.
Let's give him a standing ovation. Thank you. Thank you. What a powerful presentation it was. I think we have learned a lot. I heard him say that you could offer some training. I think you have to bargain for that. Without fail, that would change a lot of lives. So I'm going to keep chasing him, as he said that I've been chasing him for a long time. Speaking to that story, so you talked about the app, cash flow optimizer app. So then I had an idea that I could market this somehow. I was just starting a business. I literally had no clue what I was doing, to be very honest. So then we arranged for a meeting. I went to the meeting on the first day. He wasn't there, he'd gone for a funeral. Then he said, give me another day. The day that he gave me, I didn't have money for transport. So I managed to get 50 cents. I was living in East. So I stood on a bus from East. Then I got into it. I tried calling my friends. Someone lent me $1. No one could. So I said, I'm not going to. So I walked to his office that day, and he didn't know, and we had our meeting. So it's quite very true that I've been determined to chase him as a great man that I respect so much in business. And I'm very, very grateful that you managed to come and honor us with this presentation. And we are really looking forward to have the training. We will make the arrangements. I think a lot of people will be interested. Yes, and next time when you're coming, you must know to wear your striped suits, as we are doing. That's what our class gentlemen do. So at this point, we are going to tour the PG Center. Then after that, we have our breakfast. We just want to see what, here is quite an amazing place. So we just go into the mall. Then we have just 10 minutes of a tour. Then we come back and sit for breakfast. So we don't take much of your time. So thank you very much. I think Mr. Taru will lead us in the talk.